Welcome to AM Hoops. It is Casey Kiernan, and so happy to be joined by Tim Grover, legendary trainer to the biggest basketball stars of all time. He's got a new book out. It's called Winning the Unforgiving Race to Greatness. Tim, thanks so much for taking the time.
Oh, Casey, it's an honor. Thank you.
The book is awesome, and it starts with a quote that really grabbed me. And it says, 1 week before my friend and client Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash, we spoke on the phone for the last time. I wonder if you could have written this book the way it was written without knowing Kobe and just knowing Michael.
No, you know what? They both had that winning and relentless mindset, but they brought so many different competitive edges and the way they thought about things and the way they examined stuff, and how one was really into like studying and planning, and the other one was more about like trusting his instincts. So they brought different ways to get that end result, but it would have been extremely difficult just to write a book about just one of them without being able to explore how the other one handled the situation. Plus, being able to have two individuals, it's a lot easier to explain to hey, people always say, well, Michael was cut from a different cloth. Well, yeah, you can use that, but when you see other people, you're like, yeah, you know what? Maybe that cloth was cut for more than one person. And you know how much Kobe and Michael mimicked each other, especially Kobe, in the way he played the game, the way his mentality was, the way he approached winning. So there's more ways than one to get that end result.
And one of the chapters says, winning isn't heartless, but you'll use your heart less. And to me, I mean, that speaks to a dark side, right? And Kobe had a name for it, which was Mamba mentality. And I don't know if were you kind of surprised that, you know, that could be marketed? Because you see it on t-shirts, you see it on billboards, all of this stuff. I mean, people are attracted to winning, but people apparently are also attracted to the mentality behind the winning. Or do you think that's misunderstood?
No, I mean, there is, but I always try to tell people this. Mamba mentality is not a mindset. It's a lifestyle. And that's the difference. So I've seen Mamba mentality. I've seen individuals from an athletic standpoint who try to learn the Mamba mentality or try to live the Mamba mentality. And if you're not all in, I've seen it destroy more careers than it's actually helped, because it's all consuming. It's all involved. You know, Kobe always used to use the word obsession. You know, you have to become obsessed. And both my individuals, if you got a chance to watch The Last Dance, which probably everybody who's going to listen to this show and watch it had a chance, you got to see that both Michael and Kobe, that for them, winning wasn't heartless, but they definitely used their heart less in a competitive thing. And that's one of the foundation principles of Mamba mentality, is where your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. And that's very difficult for individuals to do because they're so busy trying to be liked instead of getting those wins.
Yeah. Is that learned or is that born with?
No, none of this is born with. It's how you handle situations. It's how you handle adversity. It's how you handle those different things that happen in your life. Because what I tell about winning isn't about the glamour. It's about the grit. It's about the obstacles. It's about the challenges. It's about the pain that you feel all the way through in the unforgiving race to win. So we have all those things. We have those obstacles. We have those challenges. We have those pains. How to handle those situations? Do you handle those situations, or does somebody else handle those situations for you? Do you take the victim mentality, or do you take the victory mentality? And that teaches you and molds you inside to be this type of individual. And if you look at all the elite individuals in basketball, business, whatever it may be, how they handle that adversity. Michael getting cut from his high school basketball team. Kobe, so many people telling him, you know, you're crazy from going from high school to the NBA, or when he played his first playoff game against the Utah Jazz, shooting all those air balls. And they embraced those challenges. They embraced that darkness. They embraced that pain, and allowed them to become who they are and flourish with the mentality of winning.
And you know, that explains, just talking to you just now, explains something to me about watching certain teams and individuals in the playoffs where they have to lose a couple of times. Like, these Cinderella stories never happen in the NBA, going from first time in the playoffs to a championship. Like, they usually have to lose year after year and learn how to deal with that adversity.
Well, you know, with each loss, you have two things that can happen. You can either lose confidence or you can gain confidence. The best for every loss that Michael had, and people forget this, it was 7 years before he won his first championship. With Kobe, it was 7 years between his third championship and his fourth championship. So with every one of those losses, did they lose confidence or did they gain confidence? They actually got more confident with each one. You can't have winning without losing. You're going to lose more than you win. How you handle those losses. Do you come back better after each loss? Do you come back smarter? Do you come back stronger? Do you come back more resilient? Each loss defines your personality. It molds you. It defines your mindset. And you can choose which way to go. You can be like, you know what? This is how it's going to be. Or you can accept it and say, no, this is not how it's going to be. And like I said earlier, victim or victory. You get to choose the V.
And maybe that is why a lot of 1 seeds in the regular season don't end up winning the championship, because, you know, they've been winning all season long and maybe not experiencing that adversity that you're talking about. So when you talk Kobe and you talk Michael, I also think of Phil Jackson. And when I listen to you, when I read this book, you guys seem totally opposite, Tim. I mean, he seems spiritual up in the clouds. You seem more real world on the ground. A lot of his seem very peaceful terms. You have that kind of darker side that we talk about. And you talked about being cut from, you know, the same cloth differently. You're both winners. Why are you so opposite, at least on the surface?
Well, it's not on the surface. That's who I am. I mean, for each personality, you got to find your way to win. So I give a great example. So Phil was really, really big into, you know, meditating and yoga and all that other stuff. So while he was doing that, Michael participated a few times. Then he would go on the other court and just shoot free throws, because he said, this is what's calming to me. This is my meditation. This is my relaxation. This is my focus. So you can still be one way or the other as long as it gets you those wins. And everything that works for one person is not necessarily going to work for another individual. I'll get people that'll read this book and be like, well, you didn't tell us what to do. Exactly. That's not my job. It's not my job to tell you what to do. Your whole life, everybody's been telling you what to do. Maybe that's why you haven't been winning. How about trusting yourself a little bit instead of always thinking of what to think? How about trying how to think? And that was more my philosophy. It was like, instead of coaches tell a lot of individuals, this is how to do it, this is what to think, these are the plays and so forth. When you look at the elite players, they know what to think, but they also know how to think. So you have to know what philosophy works for you and what doesn't.
So then what did Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant need from you to put it all together? If they seem like two guys who were in touch with the darker side, in touch with what made them different, and they thrived off of it, but then where did you come in to complete the puzzle? Exactly
what you said, to complete the puzzle. So it was like being able to take different aspects of their game, being able to take different aspects of their personality, being able to take different aspects of other personalities on their team and saying, hey, this is how you're going to get the most out of this person. This is how you're going to get the most out of. I've always said this. With or without me, Michael would have been the greatest basketball player ever. I cannot take credit for that. I helped him stay there a little bit longer. That's right. That's what I did. Kept them injury free, kept their minds clear. So that what I did was create a lot of clarity for them, being able to figure out a way to block out distractions, not to bring personal stuff onto the basketball court with them, because everybody thinks, oh, these are superstar athletes. They go through the same issues that we have. You know, they have relationship issues. They got trouble with their kids. They got trouble with their friends. They go through the same things that we do, but their ability to block those things out, and once you step inside that square, winning belongs to them, and it's our job to take that. It's our job to take it. And if we're not all here physically and mentally, they're going to walk away with this win. We want to walk away with those wins.
Yeah, and so you taught them how to compartmentalize that and how to channel that darker side. Yet, you and Kobe took your dark sides out to dinner one time, which is off the court. Tell us that story. What's that all about?
You know, it's more than one time. They're with us all the time. We went out one night and we went to the restaurant, and Kobe said, "Hey, can I get a table for 4?" It was only just 2 of us. All right, I thought maybe guests were coming. So we sat down on the table. We ordered drinks, and he ordered 4 drinks. And I'm still thinking, guests are coming. I didn't know who it was. And then there was 2 individuals that recognized Kobe, two males that recognized Kobe and came over, you know, great fans of his. They asked him if they could sit down. And Kobe said, "Those seats are taken." So the guys are looking around and they're like, you know, is this guy drunk? Does he just not want? He goes, "No, there's people sitting in these chairs." Then I knew exactly what he was talking about. And then he was like, "Hey, when I go out, I bring all of me with me. I bring the good, the bad, the perfect, the imperfect, the highs, the lows, everything." And all those individuals deserve a chair. They deserve to sit down and drink with us, celebrate with us, talk to us, because they're the ones that I'm going to need in order to continue to win.
Yeah, I love that. Made him so special. So we have got 2 quick questions from some VIP members for you. Our first one is from 10-year-old Julian, our youngest member. He wants to know, what was the moment like when you found out that Michael Jordan had food poisoning? What was that moment like in Utah?
Well, he's 10 years old, so I can't use the language that first came to my mind. All right.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So the first thing was, don't panic. Let's figure out what happened, and said, let's figure out a solution. The first thing I did was I looked at my watch. All right, we have this much time between now and the game time. Let's get the team together, meaning the medical team, the trainers and everything, and let's figure out a solution. We literally, during that time, we were like, we cannot manage time, because if we manage time, we're going to run out of time. Everybody needs to manage focus right now. Everybody needs to focus on this situation and figure out how to get him on his feet. Because we knew if we can get Michael on his feet, he was going to be able to play. He was going to be able to play. We knew that mindset. So we were like, okay, we don't even have the hard job. We actually have the easiest job. Just get him being able to stand on his own, and the rest of his mindset will take him through the rest. So when you see those situations, young fella, don't panic. Do not panic. When you go through those, that's why you see athletes who play hurt or play sick. They usually have their best games. They usually have their best game because they have a heightened sense of focus. So when you see those things happening with somebody, your focus has to go up. And instead of panicking, figure out the solution to handle that situation the best way possible.
Awesome. And our last one is from Anthony. What player do you watch today that has the biggest potential if he only maximized his winning talent and his Mamba mentality?
You know, potential gets somebody like me fired from my job because you see something in an individual, and I don't like to call out individuals. That's what I don't like to do. But there's so many individuals that I do feel like that are playing under their maximum physical and mental capabilities for whatever reasons. I don't like to talk about athletes that I don't have a relationship with and that I don't know what's going on in their lives personally, professionally. So because that has a lot to do with it. But you look at individuals, I tell you one person who's not, and that's LeBron James. I'll tell you another person who's not, that's Steph Curry. All right. those individuals, they maximize everything that they've had for the length of their careers, because they know time is not on their side. And then you see other individuals, you know, we can talk about load management. It's just a way of the NBA right now, and I don't know what it's gonna take to change that. So I'm not gonna give any names that are out there, but you already know who they are.
Well, this book, it's amazing. It just came out this week. It is called Winning the Unforgiving Race to Greatness. Tim Grover, legendary trainer, legendary interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Casey. Take care.